Hey guys, Ultraman52 here. Today is November 3rd, 2016. Today is a very special day for kaiju fans like myself. I'm wearing my Godzilla shirt because today is the 62nd anniversary, or birthday if you will, of Godzilla. Yes. Today he turned 62 years old. God damn, it's been 62 years of this giant monster. God damn. Started all the way back in 1954 with that black and white classic Godzilla. And today, guys, it's for a special video. I'm actually going to be uploading this on Friday, so the day after his birthday, but I'm recording this video, it is October 3rd, his birthday. So, for this video, guys, we're going to be talking about, well, we're going to be counting down my top 5 favorite Godzilla films. I want to go in depth more in these films, like proper reviews later on, maybe sometime down the road. I'm not 100% sure, just depends really. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off with number 5. Alright guys, welcome back. Did you like the countdown for number 5 there? Yeah, I used that from Animal Planet's The Most Extreme. You'll be seeing that for 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, yeah. But number 5 goes to possibly my second favorite Showa Godzilla film. And that one is the original 1974's Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla. Oh yeah. Introduced Godzilla's second arch nemesis right next to King Ghidorah. Situate a little bit of a breakdown. The plot is basically space gorillas, or space aliens from the third planet of the black hole, I believe it was, come down to Earth with a cyborg Mecha Godzilla and try to take over the world. So it's up to Godzilla and an ancient lion god monster named King Caesar, or King Caesar, to stop the aliens and Mecha Godzilla. Also, in general, one of the most brutal Godzilla films of all time. Godzilla is turned quite literally into a bloodbath. Like, this really showcased violence in the 70s for Godzilla films-wise. Yeah, it's a very cheesy film, but that's, of course, the 70s/60s feel to it and whatnot. Also has probably some of the best music by Akira Ifukube in it, hands down. Excuse me. And also introduced one of my favorite Godzilla monsters, Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, I love the character of Mecha G. My favorite incarnation of the character is the 75 Mecha Godzilla from Terror of Mecha Godzilla, which has my favorite Godzilla monster of all time, Titanosaurus. But with this film, it also marked, I believe, the 20th anniversary of Godzilla. Strangely enough, this one's on the list for the 62nd year of Godzilla. But amazing. I definitely recommend this film. Of course, I would love to go in this film more in depth, but we're on a time crunch. So yeah, I would definitely say check this film out. It is, like I said, my second favorite Showa Godzilla film, and possibly one of the best ones, with a really good, solid story. Granted, yes, it's cheesy as hell because of the fact it's space aliens, but whatever. Definitely check out 1974's Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla. Alright guys, cracking in at number 4, we have the first Godzilla film, the first traditional Japan Godzilla film I ever saw in theaters as a kid. I said this in, I think, my first episode of Let's Talk Tuesday, that I screamed the title of this film when I first saw it. In fact, I saw it 3 times, once with my uncle, once with my mother, and once with my grandmother. That's how excited I was to see it. And that film is Godzilla 2000, or also known as Godzilla 2000 Millennium, or also known as Godzilla vs. Millennium. Also, I should say, this has my third favorite Godzilla suit design, the Millennium suit. This suit would, of course, be reused again in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus in 2000. Now, please note, the Japanese version of the film was released in 1999, 1 year after the TriStar movie. But the film was released in America in 2002 for the whole, movies, the movie title plus 2000, like Fantasia 2000 and whatnot. So, very awesome film, very cheesy Godzilla film. This film puts it back to the roots of the cheese fest of Godzilla fighting off a space monster known as Orga, who first starts out as an alien spaceship, then morphs into a kind of a squid-like creature called Millennium, who is not dubbed Millennium in the film, but he is called Millennium in other I believe, the toy line and also in other films as well. And also eventually transforming into the monster Orga, who would become the final form and also really unique design monster. Looks kind of a lot like Predator or Alien a little bit, with some giant ass hands and whatnot. But essentially, in this one, Godzilla is back to being the villain, but at the same time more of the anti-hero as well. The whole anti-hero thing was originally started off in the Millennium series for him being more of a hero slash villain because the military wants him destroyed, but at the same time he's also protecting us from other monsters. Also, I should also mention, I am watching all 5 of these films in order as I go through them right now. Actually, I just got done watching the original Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. So, yeah, pretty damn cool, right? But unfortunately, this film flopped in America when it first came out because people were confused that this was a sequel to the TriStar version, which I, strangely enough, still don't have that film on Blu-ray. I'll buy it at some point in time. I don't know when, but someday soon. I don't know. But I would definitely say give this film a try if you're in for the whole cheese fest of Godzilla versus weird space monsters and whatnot. This, honestly, like I said, was a throwback to the classic Godzilla films of the 60s and 70s of Godzilla, like I said, fighting a space monster. So, yeah. So that's number 4. So taking the spot at number 3, guys, is debatably my favorite Godzilla film of the Heisei series. It's always a toss between this film and Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. But this one, I think, should be number 1 because it's the first Godzilla film that has made me cry at the end. I'm, of course, talking about 1995's Godzilla vs. Destroyer, also known as Destroyer in the West for whatever reason why. But as I said before, this was the first ever Godzilla film that in fact made me cry at the end because it was the film where Godzilla dies in a very sad way because you think at the end of the film he's lost everything. He's lost his son, which, spoiler alert, his son does die, but at the end of the film, after Godzilla dies, he comes back to life as a full-grown Godzilla, which you have to watch it to see why it happens, but yeah. Also featured one of my favorite Godzilla monsters, Destroyer, who looks like the fucking devil. Essentially, for storyline-wise, just a quick little synopsis, Godzilla has absorbed too much radiation in his whole entire body, and he is on the verge of exploding or melting down. And once he explodes, he will take all of Japan with him. Or, if he decides to melt down, he will take the entire Earth with him. Yeah, kind of a big deal, quite literally. So it's basically up to the military to freeze Godzilla with freezing weapons, like freeze cannons, freeze missiles, and freeze lasers. To basically freeze Godzilla so he does not melt. And writing-wise, this was also the last film that Akira Ifukube did the music for Godzilla. He shortly died after the making of this film. So, right there, what a great way for, to go out with a really awesome Godzilla film. For those of you who want to check some of these films out, they are mostly all on DVD and or Blu-ray. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, the original, is on DVD, but it's extremely hard to find because it's out of print and it's cost quite a pretty penny, like 70 to 80 bucks for one. So if you can find it for cheap, great. If not, well, you're going to have to go online to find it. But a really awesome Godzilla film. Like I said, I would love to go in more depth in these films, but we're on a time crunch, and also I just want to say my piece on why I love them. The writing is also really solid. It's a sequel to the 54 film, and kind of almost ignoring all the other films in between, but not really at the same time. So yeah, that is number 3, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Alright guys, cracking in at number 2, we have my favorite of the Showa series. Yeah, my favorite Godzilla film of the Showa series. We have 1962's King Kong vs. Godzilla. Oh yeah. Possibly the funniest out of all the Godzilla films, to be honest. There's just so much comic relief in this film, it's not even funny. Essentially what the story is, brief little synopsis, like I said. a very rich business owner. He wants to have his own monster that's going to basically define his TV show. And he essentially wants King Kong as his little guinea pig, or his mascot after the reappearance of Godzilla in a gigantic iceberg. And so basically King Kong breaks loose, and King Kong and Godzilla meet up, and they have a giant ass monster bash. This is also, like I said, the first time that King Kong and Godzilla have ever met face to face. And it will not be the last, because in 2020, Legendary Pictures is bringing both monsters together again for Godzilla vs. King Kong in 2020, I believe it was. So really excited there. And also, this film includes my second favorite Godzilla suit, the 62 suit, or the Kongu Goji suit. That's the dub name for it, by the way. Basically very more reptilian, looks more dinosaur with giant freaking thunder thighs and very prominent claws. And also his atomic breath in that film is more like a flamethrower than anything else. But super cheesy, very, very funny, by the way. And I would definitely say check this film out. Unfortunately, you can only get the American version on Blu-ray. The Japanese version is pretty much almost impossible to get unless you were to torrent it off some pirate site or whatever. But yeah, that is number 2, King Kong vs. Godzilla. Now we move on to number 1. And cracking in at number 1, guys, for my all-time favorite Godzilla film, which also holds my favorite Godzilla suit, is 2001's Godzilla Osura King Ghidorah Daikaiju Soko Geki. Or for you English speakers out there, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, or more commonly known by fans as GMK. This is, goddamn, this is a fucking phenomenal Godzilla film. In a way, it's a very kind of religious Godzilla film because there are a lot of Shinto references in this film. A lot, in fact. Almost as much as Evangelion puts in Christian references in its anime. But in this film, Godzilla is the sequel to the original, by the way. The original 1954 movie. And this Godzilla is essentially... And Godzilla in this film is a legendary creature. Like, no one has seen him for like almost 50 years. So he's kind of a legendary monster at this point in time. So basically, just now, there have been sightings of a new monster coming out, and all the reports say it's Godzilla. And this Godzilla, in fact, is a very unique little design on Godzilla. Very more prominent, big bulky thighs, and a very kind of menacing head with pure bone white eyes. Soulless killing machine eyes, and this Godzilla really is he is a soulless killing machine in this movie. That's why I love this incarnation of Godzilla, because how this Godzilla was created was thanks to a little story that an old man in the film says. This Godzilla was the reincarnation of hundreds and hundreds of dead Japanese soldiers who thought that Japan forgot about their sacrifices throughout the entire war. In fact, through every single war that they've done, and they reincarnated themselves into the one thing Japan feared the most, and that was Godzilla. And what a great little idea for Godzilla being a reincarnation monster. Like, he's essentially, in this film, a demon. Sent basically straight from hell to punish all of mankind. And they seek the help, and mankind seeks help of the guardian monsters, who are Baragon, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, of all monsters, by the way. Now, when I first saw this, it kind of blew me away that King Ghidorah was a good guy, because King Ghidorah in every other film before this was a villain. He was a villain monster, and it made no sense for him to be a good guy. And I still question that to this day. King Ghidorah has no business being a good guy monster. He's always been the villain. But I think through a filmmaker standpoint, to draw in more of a crowd, they would have needed to add more big pop monsters like King Ghidorah. This is also the first time that King Ghidorah and Mothra have made their Millennium Series appearance. And Baragon, for the first time since I think Frankenstein Conquers the World, Destroy All Monsters, by the way, has made his first ever appearance in the Godzilla series. When was Destroy All Monsters made? It was made in, I think, 68, right? 68, something like that, right? Yeah, I think 60. Yeah, so yeah, 1968, and that was the last time Baragon ever appeared. So about what, like almost 50 years later. So almost like what, like 40 years later, I'd say. Yeah, almost 40 years later, he's back. Baragon's back. That's right. That's I think like exactly like a little past 40, like 42 years, I think. 40 some, not like 40 some years. Yeah, since Baragon made his first, since Baragon came to the screen. But here's a little tidbit of information. King Ghidorah and Mothra were originally not even supposed to be in the movie. It was originally going to be Godzilla, Varan, Anguirus, and Baragon in the film. So yeah, Varan starring in his own film, Varan the Unbelievable. In fact, I'll probably just put the poster right here. Varan the Unbelievable. And Anguirus, his last Godzilla film was the 1974's Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla, and that was the last time we saw Anguirus. And this predated Final Wars, by the way, which came out 3 years later. So, yeah. I love this film. It is a great, great film. Again, you might, if you are a Godzilla fan, you might be kind of turned off at the fact that King Ghidorah is in fact a good guy. I would have loved to see the original version where Varan and Anguirus were in it instead of King Ghidorah and Mothra. But unfortunately, to draw in the crowd, they had to choose Mothra and King Ghidorah. But other than that, it's a fantastic film. I love this film to death. It's my favorite Godzilla film. Also holds my favorite Godzilla suit, it's more commonly known as the GMK suit, and has a very awesome design for King Ghidorah, looking more like a Chinese dragon. But yeah, other than that, it's a great film. I definitely say check it out. Again, I really want to go in depth and do a proper review on all these films, but just due to time and whatnot, that's the main reason why. Thankfully, my work is slowing down for this year, for this month and next month, so therefore I should be able to get more videos done the end of this month, so that's great, with no interruptions. Also, I should say that the week of Thanksgiving and the week of Christmas, I will be taking those weeks off of YouTube, so no videos for those weeks. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed this little top 5 video I decided to do and whatnot. So yeah, leave your comments and questions down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you have not already. So yeah, I'm Ultra52, your host with the most. That's super cheesy, by the way. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed. And sayonara. And also, a happy 62nd birthday to the King of the Monsters, Godzilla.